Good day everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how the backend code works when a new user registers. That is, when someone sign up on our Skillshop website. We are going to break this into three main parts so it's easy to understand. First, database connection, how we connect to the database. Second point, JavaScript, how we collect and send data from the front end. Third point, PHP backend, how we receive that data and store it in the database. All right, let's start by going to our database file first. This is our connection.php file. This file acts as the bridge between our website and the MySQL database. Here we have a function called getConnection. This function is responsible for connecting to our database. As you can see, we have provided localhost, root, password, and database name. If something goes wrong and the connection fails, this die statement will display an error message saying connection failed. This function is called IUD, which stands for insert, update, and delete. When we want to insert a new user into the database, we use this function. For security purpose, we use prepare and ping parent. This helps protect our system from hackers and prevents SQL injection attacks. This function is search function. We use this function to search data is in the database. For example, we can check whether an email has already been registered before. This function retrieves and returns the relevant result for us. This is my database. This is my database name, Skillshop DB. This database design is used to manage users and their account roles in a system. There are three main tables in this database. The first table is the user table. This table stores all the important information about each user, such as first name, last name, email, and hashed password. It also stores when the account was created and last updated. Additionally, it includes an active account type ID field, which shows the user's currently active role. The second table is the account type table. This table stores the different type of roles available in the system, such as buyer and seller, buyer or seller. Each account type has a unique ID and a name. The third table is the user has account type table. This is a junction table used to create a many-to-many relationship between users and account types. This means one user can have multiple account types and one account type can be assigned to multiple users. For example, a user might be both a buyer and seller at the same time. The junction table stores these relationships. Overall, this table structure is flexible and efficient. It allows the system to manage users, assign multiple roles, and control permission effectively. All right, now let's see what happens when a user fills out the form and clicks the Create Account button. This process is handled by the Create Account function inside our auth.js. Here, we collect all the data entered by the user in the form, such as first name, last name, email, and password. We use document.getElementById bracket.value to capture the values typed into each input field. Before sending the data to the server, we perform some basic validation checks. We check are all fields filled, is the password at least 8 characters long, do both password field match, has the user selected an account type, has the user agreed to the term and condition. If any of these conditions are not satisfied, we immediately display an error message to the user. If everything is correct, we prepare the data to send to the server. We create something like a data package using new form data. Then we use append bracket to add the first name, last name, email, password, and other values into this package. Now we need to send this data to the PHP backend without reloading the page. For that, we use XML HTTP request, also known as AJAX. If you look at line 64, you can see that we send the data to process create account process.php. In line 51, we check whether the request was successful. If the registration is successful, we display a green message saying registration successful and reload the page after 2 seconds. If there is an error, we display the error message returned by PHP in red. Now, the final part, the data sent from auth.js is received by this PHP file. Using require, we include the database file that we discussed earlier. Then using $_post, we retrieve the data that was sent from auth.js, though the form data package. We take those values and assign them to variables. Even though we already validated the data in auth.js. For security reasons, we must validate it again on the server side using PHP. We check whether the fields are empty and whether the email format is valid. Using filter $, we can easily verify if the email address is properly formatted. This is a very important part. We never store the user's password in plain text inside the database. Instead, we use password hash to encrypt or scramble the password before saving it. This ensures that even if a hacker accesses the database, they cannot read the actual passwords. Next, we use database search to check whether the selected account type exists in the database. Also, in line 49 to 51, we check whether this email has already been registered. If it has, we send back a message saying email is already registered. If everything is correct, we use database IUD to insert the new user into the user table. After that is successful, we get the user's ID and store their role, whether they are a seller or buyer in the user has account type table. Once everything is completed successfully, we send back the word success to auth.js. To get when the form fields are empty, it displays the message all fields are required. If account type is not selected, display the message, please select account type. And if I agree to the term and conditions is not tick, display the message, please ready and please read and check I agree to the term and condition. If the password has fewer than 8 characters, display the message, password must be at least 8 characters. And a field is empty, it displays the message, all fields are required. Finally, all field are filled and create account button, click out. Registration successful. On the registration page, when the data is entered correctly and registered, it displays registration successful and the data is stored in the database. So friends, that's how the data typed into a form travels the auth.js, gets processed by PHP and is securely stored in the database. This is the complete registration process of our skill shop website. If you have any question about this process, feel free to ask in the comments. Thank you so much for watching the video.